Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve. Today, this Stevie's Custom Monstrosity. We have a articulated Goldras figure from Ultraman Tiga using the Bandai vinyl figure of the same kaiju. And I'm trying to remember exactly what his name, what the kaiju line was from. But anyways, I digress. So, we did a couple of live streams working on this guy, which you could definitely, if you guys are interested, make sure to subscribe to the channel, keep updated whenever I go live. This guy was a commission. I was gone through our Etsy, which is a really good way to get a hold of me for commissions. Also, my Instagram or Facebook is another good option too. But, like I mentioned, we did some live streams for this. Actually, been working on this guy for quite a while, just because, honestly, I just haven't had a crap ton of time lately to work on him. And more recently, I kind of like plowed through a lot of this guy just to kind of get him finished. Didn't rush through, but just had more time to kind of like crack him out a bit. Which, for starters, took the Bandai vinyl and chopped it up to where I thought would be really good accessory articulation points. And one thing I'm noticing now that I'm holding him and before I send him out, I'm gonna have to redo the gold here because I don't know if it's something when I clear coated it, but I'm noticing that this is gone there. So I'm gonna have to hit that real quick tonight. So this part should be a little bit more golder. I'm sorry in advance, but I'm gonna try to have this guy ready to go tomorrow. So gonna have to touch that up. Sweet. But anyways, had to chop up the vinyl figure. So I made cuts along the tail, the body, the neck. You can kind of see where pretty much where a bunch of the gapping is. That's where I had to make some sacrifices, you know. And then for the articulation, where I started from is you can kind of see some of it right here. You'll see a bit of a leg peeking through. I actually used a leftover G.I. Joe figure we had hanging around here. And then his legs are this guy's legs. His arms are this guy's arms. He kind of fit almost perfectly. His head's actually sitting inside the neck here, sort of like an actual suit actor, which is kind of what I base setting this guy up and for his articulation. It's kind of like what the suit actor would be able to do inside of this to kind of make it feel a little bit more authentic. The only added joints I really had to add was for the head here. I had to set up a ball joint here. So he's got a ball joint there. I'm trying to remember. I think it's a single. So it pretty much just gives you a wiggle and a bit of a side-to-side motion. I had to add a joint for the mouth so that I would be able to open and close, which is on a ball joint so it can wiggle around a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Then it's pretty much just the original's head inside the neck here. So a decent bit of play there. For the waist, it's pretty much just a rotation side to side. And then for the arms, which is the part that I wish came out a little bit better, you can rotate them. Not too much of an up and down. Get a little bit of play there, but it's mainly just a bit of wiggle and rotation. And single jointed elbow. Hand can rotate. This hand can also rotate, but has a little less posability just because of the way it got cut. But also got a bend there as well. And then the legs got actually a decent forward kick. Solid back kick. You can rotate a little bit. Because the trick I did is I actually kept this piece loose. So it just kind of hangs out here. And then the leg bit here is where you actually get a bit of the articulation. So it does have a single knee joint. And then the feet can rotate side to side and a little bit forward and back. Then for the tail, this is all added joints. And what I did here is you'll see it gets a little weird right there. But I actually chopped the tail. And then starting here, I actually inverted everything. And that made it a lot easier to be able to insert the tail into there. So then it has a lot more play with it, especially here towards the tip. So you get quite a bit more wiggle with it. So that's essentially how all that was set up. And then to make everything kind of look a bit more organic, I just used epoxy putty. So around here, you'll kind of see there's a little bit of a separation between the detailing for the neck here where I added the epoxy. You kind of see where it lifts up just a little bit. But I added epoxy here just to help hide the joints. You'll see it on the stomach region right there. A little bit on the elbows here. The arms actually had to use quite a bit of epoxy, especially, stop focusing on the knee, right along here on the elbow. Also on the knees, I had to redo them. Also just now noticing that I think this is scuffing a little bit. So I'm actually going to touch that up too before I send this out and put some, usually my trick is you go over top of it a little bit of super glue and that'll keep the paint from scuffing off, which looks like what I'm going to have to do. I'd do a bunch of epoxy at the knees here and the ankles. And then around here at the connecting pieces are all epoxied in too. A lot of that's just to help keep the joint in. And also just, again, to hide all the work I did. Try and make it look as much like an actual action figure as humanly possible. But I think he overall came out really good. Pretty much, from what I tell from the movie, or from the episode, he could pretty much do the majority of the poses. And really happy with the end result. Hopefully the customer is too. So he'll be going out here in the near future. Like I said, when I get done talking to you guys, I'm going to go through and clean up the gold here just a little bit. And a couple of sections here, I'm actually going to have to hit a little bit harder with the glue, it looks like. But anyways, you can help us defeat those kaijus by hitting the like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. You let me guys know if you guys like the Ultraman content. Oh, I forgot to talk about the paint. Totally forgot to talk about the paint. So, for the gold, it was done with rub and buff, which I think is the problem here. Because I really love the way rub and buff looks, especially once you clear coat it. Like, it's got a really nice, like, not super fakey looking gold shine to it. But when handling stuff, it's sometimes, like, especially when you're clear coating, it can come off a little bit. So I mucked up something right there. I think I was just being a little too handsy once I got everything set up. The rest of the body here is dark blue with a standard blue dry brushing. I went a little bit of reds over top of the chest, the nails, and pretty much all the pointy spiky bits like I seen in the episode. And for the mouth is probably where I had the most paint job going on. Where for the teeth, I just did them in an ivory. Did some blacks and reds for the inside of the mouth. And then the eyes, I actually painted the eyes white and then did a little bit of a yellow wash and then dry brushed white over top of it again to make it look like they're glowing. And then just add a little black dot for the pupil because he didn't really have much of a pupil going on in there. But anyways, you can almost defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. We also got Instagram, Patreon, TikTok, Facebook. Guys that keep up to date with channel, donate. Greatly would appreciate it. Again, if you guys like to get a hold of me for commissions, I do send pictures as I'm doing the progress. Plus, you can check out the channel too whenever I'm working on stuff. You'll see your collectibles being worked on here. And on our Discord, I share a lot of this progress too. So donating to the Patreon is a really good option to get a hold of me. It's my favorite option, if I'm going to be honest. The Etsy works too. Also, you get custom beams for your kaiju figures. Link will be in the description. Or my personal Instagram, also hanging out there too. Our general Instagram is run by Arnez, so it's really good to follow that. And he'll direct you to me if it makes it easier for you. But anyways, I'll see you guys next one. Bye-bye.